Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, and welcome back to the Baseball Hut, and hopefully you like this video. And of course, hit that subscribe button. Well, the Mets, another day in spring training. I actually had a press conference with Steve Cohen, the Mets owner, which was interesting, and he did discuss what the subject of this video is about. But, you know, it's the very beginning of spring training. And it's really not a lot to talk about, to be honest with you. And if you notice, the channel's views down, it's because there's nothing to talk about. And nobody's Googling things, but of course, you're coming in for the first time, hit the subscribe button. You'll get things here you won't get anywhere else. I would mention I'm also on X. I'll put the link into the description of this video. My X account is exploding, so you want to go on there. Get very close to 1,000 followers, which is great. I've had that account for almost 5 years, did nothing. And then I started doing some stuff and just sort of participating. I've been doing really well. So please follow me there. So Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he and the Blue Jays are not going to be signing a contract extension. The deadline that he imposed upon them was the first day of spring, and he went into camp yesterday with no contract. So he's going to be a free agent next season, at the end of this season, going into next season. Now, what does this have to do with the Mets? Who knows? Because really, there is also that possibility that the Mets first baseman, Pete Alonso, re-signs with the Mets and takes the option. That is a possibility, so he does have an option for next year. So even if Guerrero Jr. becomes a free agent, he might not be a Met. But let me read from Mets Rise. Guerrero Jr. was 25, the prize free agent in the 2026 class. Spoke with reporters on Tuesday and announced he did not agree to an extension with them. Quote, they had their numbers, I had my numbers, said Jr., also stating that he has no plans to negotiate an extension this season. That means that Guerrero will be testing free agency for the first time in 2026. When asked what was most important to him in free agency, Vlad stated a winning team. He stated his motivation was to win a World Series ring and give it to his father, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who never won a World Series. Talks stalled at 10:30 p.m. Monday night, and Guerrero Jr.'s last statement was, I'm here, we didn't get an agreement. Now, you're going to have to compete with 29 other teams. Guerrero Jr. had a bounce-back 2024 season that saw him slash .321 with 30 homers and 103 RBIs. While not the strongest fielder, Guerrero has made himself into at least an average fielder at first base and has occasionally played third over the last few years. Came up as a third baseman. Guerrero Jr. would fit on virtually any MLB team, and despite the Mets re-signing Pete Alonso to a 2-year contract of an opt-out after the first year, the Mets will definitely be players and bidding for his services, especially with some major contracts coming off the books for the 2026 season. Also, the Red Sox have also been mentioned as a team to watch. I'll give you another team or two. One team you got to keep an eye on is the Angels, okay? Because the Angels do spend money. And obviously his father played there. So that is a team you got to keep an eye on with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. It's always about money. When players say it's not about the money, it's always about the money. Don't let it fool you. The same thing with Guerrero, with Juan Soto. Even though I'm happy he's here, the Yankees gave him a very good contract offer, but he took more money from the Mets. Let's not fool ourselves, And I'll have a video on Aaron Judge and what he said about the Mets and about the signing of Juan Soto, but on the Baseball Hut too. I should have that in a little bit. But the three teams you're going to hear a lot of, and I think the Angels will be a dark horse team. No one's talking about them right now. They have a lot of problems there. But I could see them saying to themselves, why don't we sign Junior? Junior, I'm sure, spent a lot of time in Anaheim with his father. And I'm sure there are pictures of him wearing an Angels uniform when Senior was playing there. I'm sure there are pictures of him, in these little Angels bat boy uniforms. But that's a team to keep an eye on. That is my opinion, to keep an eye on. The Red Sox are another team. But there's a lot of pressure there in Boston. And Boston is in a weird spot because they are not the best team in the division, but they are improving. and their farm system is very good. And they can move some pieces around, and they did not. I mean, they do have Casas there at first base, because they didn't put Rafael Devers at first base. They're going to put Bregman, I would assume, at second. So that is a team that actually has some talent, and is still bringing in talent from their farm system. So they're not quite ready to take that big step. And I'm not sold on this idea that the Yankees-Red Sox rivalry is back since they signed Bregman. I don't believe that. The Yankee fans are begging for the Red Sox to come back. Red Sox are not quite there yet. They need another year. And the Blue Jays, to talk about them for a moment, they're going to finish in last again. They're going to finish in last place again. They brought in some players, but they're just not good enough. I mean, Max Scherzer, who hasn't been healthy in the last 2 years, is going to pitch. 30 games, no. I mean, they're just not good enough, the Red Sox. The Blue Jays. Even with Santander, who really helps their lineup out, their pitching is not very strong. The Blue Jays are in a weird spot because they're going to lose Guerrero Jr., but they're also going to lose Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette's going to leave. That's the one thing. You heard nothing about him negotiating any kind of contract with the Blue Jays. And the belief is on the surface that he's leaving. They're both going to be gone. There's going to be a very different team next year up in Toronto, because players really, for the most part, have not signed with not too many big free agents other than Santander has been signing with the Blue Jays and with the last Canadian team up there. But now back to the Mets. Where do the Mets stand with this? Who knows? Steve Cohen said today, that really signing all these big contracts is not really sustainable. It's not really something that he really wants to do. And Guerrero Jr. is the first baseman. He's not an outfielder. And he's going to be 28 years old next year? 27 years old? 26 years old? In terms of the age, he's fine with the age, but the problem with him is that he's a first baseman. And would you rather have Pete here for another year doing what he does, or Guerrero Jr. for the next 10 to 15 years? And I would mention, 2 years ago, he did not play in the World Baseball Classic because he had a knee situation. So his knee was bothering him. So I don't know if this is a recurring thing with him, but that's something to keep in mind. I'm just bringing it up, just giving you information that you won't get anywhere else. And I know a lot of people watch this video, they want to see the Mets get Guerrero Jr., but let's be realistic. Mets have not made any kind of moves to break up any players from their farm system. They've not moved any big prospect over the last 4 years. And I don't think they'll do it on a rental when we get to July and August. So just keep that in mind. I keep it real here. I always felt that Juan Soto was going to be a Met. I felt that for the last few years. I don't see Guerrero Jr. being a Met. I see him sign somewhere else. Even though he'd have a lot of insulation here with Francisco Lindor and with Juan Soto and Brandon Nimmo here, to be honest with you, I don't think he'd want to be part of this market. I'm going to be honest with you. I think he'd rather be in a place like Anaheim, to a lesser extent, Texas, because his father played there, Baltimore, though Baltimore has not spent money since they changed ownership. And I see him possibly going to the Boston Red Sox, but that's a big market too, and there's a lot of pressure there with the Red Sox in New England. But I'm just going to keep putting that out there. You won't hear that anywhere else. That's how I look at the world and how I view things, very logically and reasonable. So, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut, and I'll see you later.